the scariest ghost encounters on Reddit. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Paulina Enchanted, and today we have three extremely scary ghost stories for you. And guess what? One of them is my own. Reddit encounters with ghosts. This first story takes place in New Orleans. New Orleans is known to have extremely high paranormal activity. Do you have any paranormal experiences? If you are not aware, New Orleans is a hub for paranormal encounters. There are so many stories that take place, but this is one of the scariest because it's about a girl that experiences something terrifying with her parents on vacation. It is not a normal ghost encounter. I would say this is more in line of a possession. Let's go ahead and get into the story. This story is from a Reddit user named Claudia Insights. She had this experience and she wanted the world to know. Picture it. New Orleans during Halloween or Creux de Bois season. My parents and I were there to celebrate a birthday, my father's, and attend a healthcare conference to present research, me. We decided to stay at the Hotel Monteleone, located in the French Quarter, because that is where my conference was taking place. Little did I know, it's also known for being haunted. As a psychic medium, I was fully prepared to have a paranormal experience, but I was not prepared for what happened to both my parents soon after we arrived. On the first night of our arrival, my parents had to stay in my room because their room was double booked. That night, I woke up around 2 a.m. to find my father sitting up in his bed across from mine. There was a thin, androgynous, 8-foot tall being touching his legs. I watched for a few minutes. My dad laid back down and the benevolent being disappeared. The next day, I asked my dad about it, and he said he was visited by an alien being who told him he was healing his sciatica pain. Indeed, his pain disappeared for months and months. 4 days later, my parents are now staying in their room. On the last morning of our stay, my father rings me to please come to their room. I get there and see that they are both anxious and bewildered. My father then proceeds to tell me that he knows my mother was possessed by a spirit the night before. It kept insisting that she jump from the window in her room. My dad stated that around 3 a.m. the night before, my mother woke up to tell him to hold her hands and to not let her go. Don't let me go. My father thought my mother was having a stroke because her face looked faded somehow. She was there, but not, he said. His intuition told him to keep guard. Later on, my mother recounted that she felt when a young woman entered her body but pushed past her to ask my father to hold her hands until the morning came. She said the woman kept asking her to go to the window and jump. My mother said all she could do was pray for protection. She said she focused on my dad and asked the spirit to leave her. We left New Orleans a little shaken but okay. When she got back home, I reached out to the hotel and spoke to the manager about the incident. He informed me that he had worked there for 5 years, and I was the third person he spoke to who had this experience. He validated that there was a story that a young woman had jumped to her death from that room after being jilted by a lover. I sure do wish they had disclosed this information prior to me booking that room. Now I know better. I ask before I book. Wow. That story is intense. Honestly, I'm glad the mom prayed. I used to be really into ghost huntings and things like that, and I would kind of seek the paranormal. But I had this Holy Spirit experience where I felt like I was informed that maybe it's not good to seek, because she said she was a psychic medium. I do like reading about encounters and things like that, but I'm not actively going ghost hunting. Um yeah. The next experience is the creepiest. Maybe you've experienced something like this. If you have, I love reading spooky stories. Let me know in the comments. It is titled The Frostbite. This one was written by Professional Kiwi 646 on Reddit. So, in December 2 years ago, I was wandering around the frost areas as I like to do, but I felt an odd feeling as if someone was following me. It then felt like something was tapping my neck. I turned around and saw some kind of shadow retreat into a mass of trees, and I just ran. The next weekend, I summed up the courage to go back to that area, and I felt it. I felt it around me. I looked back in the distance and I saw two golden eyes. It couldn't have been a human. Who would walk their dog at 2 a.m. in the morning? Then I felt this dread inside me. I felt this overwhelming fear, and I ran back to my house, but I felt it. I felt like something was kissing me. Oh my god, that was really creepy. At the end, Mr. Kiwi asks, "What do you think he encountered? What do you guys think he encountered?" I'm wondering if he lives next to it says massive trees, so probably like a forest or something. That's really creepy. I remember seeing like a pair of very bright yellow eyes as a kid in the forest once too. It's just like floating there. And it wasn't dark, so it wasn't like a cat, It was like really creepy. I have had a lot of paranormal encounters actually. So this one's the most recent one, but again, as I mentioned before, I no longer feed into them, right? So I no longer maybe try to connect with them or talk to them. I don't do it. I don't think necessarily they're good. I just got that information from an experience. So this one was at work. It was pretty creepy. I told my coworkers and they were like, "Ooh." So in my job, all the girls talk about the haunted bathroom. We all wash our hands. In the corner of our eyes, we see a pair of feet in one of the stalls, and there's no one there. I usually ignore it. I don't care anymore. I'm not feeding into it. But this other day, as I was walking out of the bathroom, there are drinking faucets right outside. And I guess it was trying to get my attention. As I walked out, it turned on by itself as I was walking next to it. And I literally said, "Not dealing with you." And it turned back off. And I walked away. I told my coworkers, they were pretty spooked, but I just don't care. I've had so many experiences and I've learned to, I feel like a lot of these entities like to feed off of your energy. So don't pay attention to them and pray and you'll be okay. If you enjoyed my content and I keep you entertained, I hope that you give me a like and subscribe and tell me about your ghost stories. I love reading about them, and let's see if you have any spookier ones. Love you guys. Bye.